You guys, you're allowed to have human emotions. You're allowed to exhibit human emotions. There are a lot of people in your society who don't get that. They aren't afforded that small token of humanity. My predators, through my entire life, have used the term mentally ill to get away with it. And here in a small town like Chapel, Nebraska, popularity contest. Nobody wants to get involved. Nobody wants to get involved. Nobody wants to get involved. If you know that somebody is in the right and you speak up, they'll make your life hell. When I was at Candace Bondurant trying to recover from the assault by Waylon Lolatai, that was all over the news, and to try to get things put together so I could defend myself. You know, I didn't trust Candace, but I wanted to. I knew that with her history that there was a chance that she was again completely full of shit. But it's not like people in Colorado were stepping up. Miss Peaches could have kept me for just one extra day. That would have been long enough to get everything put together as the cops needed it, and possibly to find myself a safe place. But no, I got thrown out on the street. It's never your fault, though, is it? It's not. It's never your fault. You always have to alleviate yourself. Miss Peaches said that it wasn't her fault, it was her mom's. Well, that's fine, but you have to say that. You do. If I went to you for help and the cops are using the term mentally ill to try to make it sound like I'm fucking hallucinating this shit, they're not going to listen to me. I'm telling you that they're going to use this mentally ill thing to prevent me from speaking, to pretend I wasn't trying to get help, to pretend that I'm crazy no matter what I say. They're going to let these people harm me until I have another fucking breakdown, and then they're going to harm me for having a breakdown. I need your help to force these goddamn cops to do their jobs. All of the shit that you guys want me to do costs resources that I haven't had for the last fucking 4 goddamn years. Last 3, sorry. Like even now, I don't have those resources. I got all that money in, about $12,000, and I am busy buying all of this shit that I don't fucking need for people that are promising to help me if I get this and if I get that. You know, I got a gaming computer because it is better with the graphics processing thing, and it's supposed to be better at this thing and that thing, and it's supposed to be better for all sorts of shit with all these different things. And I'm buying this shit because hey, you need to get a better computer, Schwartz. You need a better computer. I don't think you can do eBay with that. You can do eBay on your fucking telephone. If my telephone would take pictures and fucking set that shit up, I'd be doing it on my telephone. I had to delete stuff off of my telephone just to make my first post. But on the bright side, the guy that I paid $150 to teach me how to do that in person, he taught me how to do that in person, showed me in person, went through the steps with me in person. As soon as I buy the shit, it's immediately devalued. There's a lot of stuff that if I had my own place, I wouldn't have to depend on other people. But because of my disabilities, I'm not allowed to have my own place. It's not like there's a law that says that I can't have my own place. It's just all the fucking stipulations that you have to try to comply with. You can't possibly comply with them. When you're getting $600 a month, how can you possibly spend $600 a month to travel to places where you're being victimized, only for nothing to be done, and you have to come back again and again and again and again and again every month like fucking clockwork? Now, the other day, and I was watching the videos, and I was like, man, I totally made it sound like it's something it's not, because it doesn't cost me $100 each way to go from Chapel, Nebraska to these court dates and back. It cost me $50 each way, so it's $100 per trip. But if you look at the thing with Waylon Lolotai, I was assaulted. I was prevented from filing a report against him. I was assaulted by multiple officers and jail staff in that altercation. They just wanted to hurt somebody. Leslie Paul, she's the one that married Clint. She works for the sheriff's department. You know, I have every right to be frustrated after all of this. People saying I'm not trying to get help. No, I tried getting help. This is how you are treated when you have the tag mentally ill. And all these people who claimed that they were going to come forward and claimed that they were going to write it down. I spent my time, I spent my resources on their empty fucking promises. And at the end of the day, yeah, they helped my predators and then threw tantrums because I showed the truth. Fuck you. You don't get to call me friend after that. You don't get to pretend that I didn't try. Miss Peaches, she thinks so low as to tell me that I didn't try hard enough. I should have tried harder. That's what she said to me. Well, you should have tried harder. Holy shit. I'm coming over because you say you're going to help me, and I show up, and I buy food, I buy cigarettes, I buy your fucking pot. I wait for your kids to go to bed because then you'll have time. But then your kids go to bed, you play video games. Completely forgot about me, and I'm just sitting there quiet on the couch. I'm not taking part in any of the fun shit you're doing. You know, you play Diablo 3 with Raja and Miss Peaches playing Diablo 3. We're busy getting drunk and seemingly listening to me, and then A-Bear wakes up and he's a fucking asshole. He should have just minded his own fucking business. See, all you guys tell me all this shit about minding your own fucking business. None of this was your business. This should have been between myself, the Bollingers, and the fucking cops in Virginia in 2016. But it wasn't. The fucked up shit that the Bollinger family and their fucking druggy friends continued to do for an entire year. Cops didn't give a fuck. I couldn't turn it in. I'd get either fucking arrested, blown off, or fucking dragged to a goddamn nuthatch. Hey, I'm being abused. I'm not coming to you because I want you to lock me up so I don't kill myself. I'm coming to you because people are harming me and I need help putting a stop to it. And I keep getting the mentally ill treatment. My life is fucking torture. I'm not telling you these people tortured me to the point that I want my life to end so you can torture me more. So Leslie Paul wanted to pull the same stupid cunt maneuver that a lot of these other goddamn cops did. She's a pig, straight up. She isn't a real officer. She's a fucking secretary. She was not there for those situations. She cannot defend those fucking cops for shit that she was not fucking there for. When I am trying to turn them in, they need to not fucking cut me off. All of these places that I'm told that I have to go to, and everybody's protocol is fucking different. And when you jump through their protocol, they change their protocol. Whatever makes it okay for them to do the fucked up shit they did. I tell them I don't have the technical abilities to do this shit over the computer and that their websites fucking suck. It's not my fault that they set up the website so you can't turn in fucking cops. That's not my fault. You think I have to write it down. That's how you get the investigation started. But look at all the shit that I wrote down that they fucking threw away, that they didn't investigate. And then these people that want to throw it in my face, hey, I did this for you and I did that for you. Did you fucking speak up in court about it? These assholes didn't get away with this because I'm a bad person. They didn't get away with this because I broke the law. They got away with this because nobody cared enough to give me anything more than fucking lip service. If I'm coming to you for help, and like in the case with Miss Peaches, you are actually helping me. You're actually driving me to these appointments, helping me to fucking set them up. You couldn't say that in fucking court. You couldn't speak up before I literally had to break the law over the goddamn abuse I was taking. You fucking procrastinated, Miss Peaches. It was your words that were the most important. All those things that you threw in my face like I'm a piece of shit. Like I was pretending that none of those things happened. No, Miss Peaches. I said all of those things happened. I spoke up. I told all of those things. The police pretended that none of those things happened because you never spoke up and because they used the term mentally ill in order to make it so that it's my word versus theirs. Who are you going to believe, the mentally ill or the cop? Who is the judge going to listen to? Is my public pretender just going to listen to me? No, she's been fucking tainted as well. She doesn't want to do her job. I'm called mentally ill. Nobody is calling my fucking public pretender. Nobody is letting her know what's going on except for me. She's not even letting me know what the fuck is going on. When you are called mentally ill, they can withhold all evidence from you. You have any idea how many times I had to call these fucking public pretenders offices for them to play fucking retarded? And then I call these fucking police stations and they play fucking retarded. I try to do it over the internet because they say that I got to do it that way. I can't do it over the internet. It's not that I'm not fucking trying. Meanwhile, it's pretty shady shit because the stuff that I sent to the cops, I sent to other people too, and those other people were able to see it, but somehow magically the cops can't see it. Some of those people, I forwarded it from the cop. These cops knew that this evidence existed. All of these people knew that this evidence existed. Every one of these people know that I was trying to show them the fucking evidence. But they pretend that I didn't. And even though the evidence shows otherwise, it's not allowed in fucking court. I'm called mentally ill, and anybody can do anything they want. All these things that they say they can't do for me that are illegal, they did for my predators. If it's illegal and they can go to jail for doing those things for a disabled person who's trying to turn in their abusers, they sure as shit can get locked up for doing those things to help a predator victimize a disabled person. I don't care if you did it because you were fucking lied to. As soon as you fucking realize that, you should have said and fucking done something. Not years later. And what did these people do years later? I told you what these officers would do. And then they did it. Those officers I was trying to turn in were able to use their position and the label of mentally ill to prevent me from being hurt at the hospital. My predators with badges got to take me to the hospital and have me harmed in the hospital, and then use the fact that I was in the hospital to justify all of their crimes. Scott DaCosta continues to do that to this day. I need help. This asshole at the north end of town, who isn't lifting a goddamn finger to help me how I need, who wants to continually rechange the deal so that he has to do less and less, and I have to pay more and more. I don't want to put his name all over the internet. I don't. I got hundreds of hours of conversations that I have to record for my fucking safety. I tell people about the abuse and they say they're fucking sorry. They're sorry. They're sorry. They're fucking sorry. You're fucking sorry. You're sorry. You're sorry. You're sorry. You know that Sandy Fromm is threatening my life, but you ain't come forward to the cops with it, have you? No, and you're sorry. You're sorry. You're sorry. You're sorry. You're sick of Sandy's drunken bullshit. You bitch at me for an hour and a half a day. And you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry. You can't help me because you're not motivated. But you want me to get motivated every time you need something, and you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry. Your fucking sorry doesn't make any goddamn difference. When you're called mentally ill, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's guilty until proven innocent. When you are a white male who is homeless, the fact that you are white is not a fucking benefit. You're homeless. You have zero rights. Even going to the bathroom is illegal. Going to sleep with a blanket is illegal. None of these small towns, none of them have shelters. And people say, well, I don't know why you showed up in Boulder. There's services there. We're showing up because we need help. Your services are fucking hobbling. Expecting a single mother living out of her fucking vehicle to drive to 4 fucking meetings a goddamn month in order to get food. In order to get food from your food bank. Oh my God. This woman is living out of her fucking car. This is her 3rd winter living in her fucking vehicle with her daughter. What the fucking hell? And all of these services, all with their goddamn sliding fee scale. All with the wanting you to sign your name, because the more names they get signed on their piece of paper, the more money they get. With BOHO, that's Boulder Outreach for the Homeless Overflow. That's where I walked people. I didn't usually walk them to the homeless shelter unless they had never been to the homeless shelter. Because on your first day at the homeless shelter, they let you in. You don't have to go through the lottery. What's the lottery? Well, you show up at around 6, and you and 1,000 other homeless people stand there, and they give you a number, and then they call off your numbers. If they call off your number, you get to go in. If they don't call off your number, then you're stuck out in the cold, and it's usually 8 or 9 by the time they're done with that. Plus, now they require you to electronically register. So if you aren't any good with computers, or you don't have technology, or you've been kicked out of the library for stinking, you're pretty well screwed. So you guys expect the homeless to have all of this access to this modern world bullshit. But your punishments for not having it, just like your punishments for not having a roof over our head or our own toilet, prevent us from getting those things. People expected me to be able to do a bunch of technical shit that I didn't know how to do. Every fucking 10-year-old in America knows how to do this shit. But I don't know how to do it. And people use that as an excuse to say I'm not trying. I'm making these videos still after all these years because I still need that help. I can't continue to go to my predators to try to get help, especially when I'm not allowed to speak up about the fucked up shit that they do. I would have liked for everything with Shannon Alvarado to be taken care of in court. I would have liked for everything with Ted Bollinger taken care of in court and Alicia Bollinger. But no, it wasn't like that. It was them and their friends fucking playing head games with me and fucking threatening me, harassing me, assaulting me, sending people that were trying to help me pictures of their old living rooms. That was people in Chapel, Nebraska who did that. It was people in Chapel, Nebraska who knew Candace, somebody who had been to her old living room. And yeah, that scared the shit out of Candace. That's not my fault. It's not my fault people were threatening her. It's not my fault that Officer Beard pulled the bullshit that he did. Those things are not my fault. But when I threatened to tell the truth, what did Candace do? She went out of her way to make sure that I didn't have the resources to do so. She went out of her way to mislead the situation to the people who are trying to help me. We teach women that this is okay. We teach women that this is acceptable behavior. This gets people killed. All of these people want to pretend like they're afraid of me. They should be afraid of me. If I was really this monster that they were pretending that I was, they'd be dead already. They would be dead already. All of them. The fact is, they wanted to pretend when they fucked up, when they assumed shit and their assumptions were wrong, or they don't want to admit that they could ever be wrong about anything. So, although you're living through hell, they're busy telling you what your life is like. You don't get to fucking do that. When you're called mentally ill, your guilt is assumed. When you're homeless, your guilt is assumed. Everything is 100 times fucking harder when you're homeless. It's 100 times harder when you're called mentally ill. When all your friends are fair weather friends, it becomes hell. Most of these people who stabbed me in the back and kicked me in the teeth are people who I had helped repeatedly over and over and over and over again. When they asked for my help, they got it. That fucking simple. While everybody else was making excuses. And all these people that I see that I went to for help made nothing but excuses. Now I see them posting up about how they need help. But guess what? I can't safely go to Colorado to help you because you couldn't speak up. So now you're on your own. You're not going through 1/100th of what I am. You're bitching like that. You're hateful like that. You tell me I can't get angry. Why can't I? It's okay for you. It's wrong for me to threaten people who threaten me. Hold on a second. You ignored it when they did it to me. It's only wrong if I do it back. It's not my fault that all of these people made all of these fucking excuses. It's not my fault that they fucking lied to me over and over and over again. It's not my fault that they fucking procrastinated. It is not my fault that they took advantage of my situation, my disabilities, and my lack of funding. It's not my fault that they used and fucking abused me. And it's not my fault that I'm in the situation that I'm in now. It's not my fault that you are an idiot. It's not my fault that you would rather listen to hearsay than look at evidence. It's not my fault that you're a fucking bullshitter and a liar. It is not my fault that you helped my predators. It is not my fault if you're a coward. To all these people bitching, I'm going to tell you what you told me. I don't care. Does that feel good? In reality, I do care. But because you didn't do a goddamn thing about the situation I'm in when it made a difference, I cannot be there to help you with your situation. Lexi Woods, when she was having issues and she wanted me to come testify in court, I'd already had to flee the state of Colorado for my own safety. Are you not getting that? I needed help. All I needed her to do was tell the truth. She didn't care. She didn't want to get involved. She didn't understand why. Well, the reason is because I was telling the fucking truth. It doesn't matter if you're telling the truth when you're called mentally ill. That's why I saved these people's conversations when they didn't come forward, when they didn't keep their word, when they wasted my time and wasted my resources and played like it was something else entirely. That guy in the north end of town, I got hundreds of hours of fucking conversations. And no, none of them are on fucking YouTube. None of them. All right, he did call me in the middle of video once. But who do I go to? The cops haven't investigated a goddamn thing. They've taken complete advantage of the fact that I don't have the time or the resources, and I am trying not to have a goddamn meltdown. I don't just have to deal with the bullshit here. I got to deal with the bullshit in Wyoming and the bullshit in Washington State. All this shit that I have gone through, where I have been literally trying to get help and been denied because of the title of mentally ill. Meanwhile, there's supposed to be that help for me because of the title of mentally ill, and you see how it is just lip service. Sean, we still expect you to do things that your disabilities prevent you from doing. Sean, we still expect you to do things that not having the money prevents you from doing, and not having the credit prevents you from doing. People say don't live in the past. The fact is that the term mentally ill has been used to victimize me my entire adult life and my entire youth. I cannot do these things that you are asking because of the excuses you make to look away when it happens to someone else, especially someone called mentally ill. You just assume their guilt. You just assume it. Most of these people, before they knew I was autistic, they treated me completely different. You can see the difference night and fucking day between how they treated me when they thought of me as intelligent and when they thought of me as an autistic retard. When I say don't get a fucking diagnosis, I'm serious. If you're autistic and you can speak, don't ever tell anyone you're fucking autistic. It's like old Rod Heckey likes to use the N-word. As soon as I said, I don't like that word, he'd literally say it 5 more times within a minute's time. Just to be a fucking asshole. I don't like the N-word. Now that dude up at the north end of town, I recorded all of that. Right now, I'm just talking about it. I'm being nice by not posting up his voice and his name for the whole fucking world to see. I'm being fucking nice. This dude knows about the abuse that I've been going through. And I'm being nice to him, despite the fact that he's not coming forward. He's not saying a goddamn thing. And he's constantly wanting me to go over there and help him. You know, he's like, you come up and hang out now. And I go up to hang out, and we're not hanging out. It's him hounding me about fucking eBay, or fucking hounding me about Sandy, or fucking telling me the next fucking line of stories, crazy shit that's fucking Sandy's pulling. I'm like, dude, you don't want to hear about Sandy. I get it. So stop fucking talking about her. You're not going to help me. So stop asking for my help. You're not going to work on the eBay thing. So stop asking me to do it in my spare time. I'm overwhelmed by all of your expectations. I'm trying, but I need some time to myself. I'm not talking just the time that it takes me to fucking settle down after that. But I mean some actual quality time where we're doing what I want to do for once. Like, it's not much of a friendship if you're always doing what the other person wants. Looks like Rick Sanchez typed something and retracted it. Seem to be a lot of people that do that. That conversation with Jace Jefferson, I didn't want to record that conversation. I didn't even want to have that conversation. But that conversation showed I was telling the truth. Y'all just blow me off and say, well, it's somebody else's responsibility. That's how you treat the disabled. That's why they end up homeless. They're always someone else's responsibility. Your family thinks that the government's supposed to do it. The government thinks your family's supposed to do it. You go to these people who work for the government and they tell you, well, why don't you go to your family? Don't you have family? Don't you have family? You go to your family, they're like, why don't you go to the police? Why don't you go to the caseworkers? Hey, motherfucker, you need to speak up. Jesus goddamn Christ. They're trying to use the term mentally ill to continue to say that they didn't do things that I've proven that they did. The only reason they're getting away with it is because of the mentally ill tag. And because of the abuse of their position. The whole time the Bollinger family were pretending like they're good Christian folks who love Natalie and really care about missing people. They didn't give a fuck before Natalie got shot in her goddamn head. And they wouldn't have given a fuck if I'd have shot myself in the goddamn head. They pushed me to the point of being suicidal. And no matter what, that makes it okay. If you push someone to the point where they are suicidal, it makes it okay that you committed those crimes. Because you can't go to the police because you can't tell the police the truth. If you tell the police these people have abused me to the point that I'm suicidal, you will get abused for telling the goddamn truth.